Okay, so this is my first attempt at vlogging, I guess, since I came to Mexico. Um, my name is Shalom. I am born and raised in Nigeria. I know my accent probably makes you think I'm American, but I've lived in America for a long time and just recently moved to Mexico for quite a few reasons. So I'm just gonna share my personal um, experiences in different places around the world, specifically in America, in the United States, and now in Mexico, um, both as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, and just as a black person. So, yeah, um, what should we share first? Why did I move to Mexico? Well, uh, multiple reasons. For business, um, I trade agricultural commodities from West Africa to other countries around the world, and one of my main centers is in Mexico. So that's one reason. Another reason for moving to Mexico kind of has to do with the lifestyle, the culture, the people, and the opportunities. In the United States, it's the experiences I've had there as a black person have definitely made me have some personal opinions about living in the United States. I believe that all black people in America, specifically in the United States, are slaves. Um, and it's just the way the system's set up. So, unfortunately, um, I don't think the opportunities for success as a black person in the United States are um, high. You know, it's very difficult. You live on eggshells. You There's just a lot, and so I find that restricting. And I feel like there are better opportunities in Mexico and several other countries, but specifically Mexico is the closest, and therefore it has been the most attractive to me. Um, so yeah, I guess that in a nutshell is some of what I will be discussing, some of what um, is going on in my life, and I just share those personal experiences. I love Mexico. It's very similar to Nigeria in a lot of ways, and so I feel comfortable here. I feel at home in a lot of ways. I feel I can take advantage of more opportunities here without as many roadblocks as you would find as a black person in the United States. Now, again, these are just based on my personal experiences. Like I said, I grew up most of my life in Nigeria. So I've lived in the United States as well for over 10 years. So I think I'm more than well versed to discuss my experiences in the United States versus in Nigeria and now in Mexico. So yeah, I just don't feel that opportunities for black people and specifically black men in America are that great. You know, I think there's a ceiling, there's a roof, and there's quite a ton of roadblocks for you. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I feel more comfortable in Mexico. I feel definitely safer in Mexico. Um, you know, in the States, a cop could kill you. You know, so um, and I've had several experiences, just like many other black people talk about and discuss. And those things are real. I think that as an African immigrant into the United States, understanding what African American people and what black people in America have gone through is often received from the African community as something else. And that's primarily because most Africans haven't experienced it in the same way. And so it's difficult sometimes to relate to that. However, I can definitely testify to the fact that there is a system in America that holds um, black people down, you know, or should I say, it creates quite a ton of barriers for you to succeed. And almost in a lot of ways, the system kind of not guarantees your failure, but in some ways it does. And it makes sure that they keep you down there. So for me, I'll say that, living in the United States is just not for me. So more power to anybody that can live there comfortably and feel okay and feel safe. For me, this is about safety and security. I don't feel safe or secure in the United States, and therefore I decided to make a move. Now, I do frequent, obviously, because I still have family in the United States, so I do go back and forth, and that's another reason for being in Mexico. Mexico is, a couple hours flight to California, for example, and that's easy, that's convenient, it's cheaper and shorter than going to the East Coast from the West Coast. So it kind of makes sense. It is an international trip. However, those are kind of the sacrifices I've chosen to make for me. I think there are tons more opportunities for me as a black man here in Mexico. And so I plan on exploring that. And again, my name is Shalom. If you want to hear more or see more of my experiences, then, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Instagram, and yeah, or you can visit Dreams and Ambition, Dreams, the letter N, ambition.org, and I share some of my, thoughts on life and more specifically thoughts on, the pursuit of goals, how to achieve your goals and different things like that. But follow the journey and ask me whatever questions you guys may have, whether it's about business on the African continent or living on the African continent, specifically in Nigeria, that's where I was born and raised, or living in the United States, where I've lived for over 15 years, or now living in Mexico. And yeah, that is all.